that we sung, he would get a hymn instrument. Man, sometimes he'd almost preach in hymn instrument. This particular song has a great history behind it. There was a young man that wrote that song, Bill Gilmore, who entered into a trade as a young man way back in the 1800s before there was steam power on a ship. It was just powered by sail. He was just a young man, and he entered into it Christian. He entered into this thing, and they set off on their voyage. The captain of this ship was an avowed atheist. He hated anything to do with God. He hated anything to do saying with it. And after they'd been at sea a few weeks, the old captain fell ill, became very sick. The young shipmate asked permission, went to the first mate, and went into his quarters one day and took something very similar to this, just a New Testament. And he took it to the old captain and he gave it to him, and he said, "I'd like you to read this. And if anything that you don't believe in that, if you'll underline it in black, in a few days I'll stop by and we'll discuss it." And the old captain agreed, and he took the New Testament out of his hand. As the weeks went on and the old captain grew sicker, every so often the young shipmate would stop by his cabin, and he would always be waved on. Waved on. One day he died. He had a funeral at sea and buried him at sea. First mate then was captain of the ship. When the service was over, he came up to that young man and he said, his last orders to me before he died was to give this back to you. And he handed it back. The young man went back to his quarters, heartbroken, thinking the old captain died, went to hell. And he's sitting there on his bunk, and he picked that New Testament up, and he thought, well, I wonder what he underlined that he didn't believe. And he opened it up, and to his amazement, he found there was nothing underlined in black. But all through it, there were verses underlined in red. When he got to the last page, which in most things like this was a blank page in the back, the old captain had written him a note, written it to him. And in that note he said, "I've anchored my soul in that haven of rest." Amen. The young man sat on his bunk and penned the words to the song that Brother Rice was singing. It means a little bit more if you hear somebody just sat around and think this thing up. There was a reason behind it. I have anchored my soul in the haven of rest. God bless you.
My soul in sad exile was out on life's sea, so burdened with sin and distress, till I heard a sweet voice saying, "Make me your choice," and I entered the haven of rest. I've anchored my soul in the haven of rest. I'll sail the wide seas no more. The tempest may sweep o'er the wild stormy deep. In Jesus I'm safe evermore. I yielded myself to His tender embrace, and by faith I took hold of His word. My fetters fell off, and I anchored my soul. The haven of rest is my Lord. I've anchored In Jesus I'm safe evermore.